That first day in the mission field, it was it's crazy. We went out, and the first thing we did was just we just went teaching with the assistants. They grabbed a couple of us each, and they just went in separate directions. And we all had a teaching experience that night, so it was really cool. But when we came back to the mission home, the mission president explained how transfers worked and how he did them. And he told us that, he goes, this transfer is a big one. We're going to be sending people all over the mission. And he goes, and there's new missionary areas are going to be stretching from Dover Foxcroft, which is as far north as you go in this mission, and it's very cold, to Manchester, which is where we're at. And he goes, and then there'll be one missionary who will be going to South Royalton, Vermont. And we're all like, okay, what's that? He goes, that's Sharon, Vermont. He goes, you'll be serving the birthplace of Joseph Smith. And like instantly, all of us were like, wonder that's going to be me. And we were like all excited, like serving at the birthplace of Joseph Smith. And so it was really cool the next day when they're going through the transfers, and they told me that I was going to be going to Sharon, Vermont. I was just stoked because one of my friends had served in Sharon, and she had always told me, she goes, you're going to serve in Sharon, Vermont one day. And I'm like, it's a sister's area. I can't serve in a sister's area. But apparently they had put elders in there, and so I had an opportunity to go there. And so I was super excited, and I was leaving with my trainer, and I'm like, Elder Walker, let's go have some fun. And immediately I felt a hand on my shoulder, and it was my mission president, and he's like, elders, your purpose here isn't to have fun. Your purpose here is to create joy, because joy is eternal. Go have joy. And we're like, okay. When I was in the MTC, my MTC teachers had served in West Coast missions. One of them served in Mesa, Arizona. So he shared stories of, tracting in Snowflake. And he's like, you don't really tract in Snowflake. You work through the members. And so he told us, work through the members, work through the members, work through the members. And I got to share in Vermont, and I'm like, so how many referrals do we need to go contact? And my trainer looked at me, he goes, we've had 2 referrals last month. I'm like, what? I'm like, well, how many investigators do we have? He goes, we have 3, but we're going to be dropping them this week. I'm like, what? I'm like, do we teach any less actives? He goes, we got 3, but they haven't come to church yet. And it's like, so what are we doing? And he goes, tracting. I'm like, but I was told tracting was worthless. And he's just like, not in this mission. Tracting builds character. And so I remember that first week very distinctively, because the first day we tracked from 12, because we had our studies and lunch and all that stuff, and we tracked it from 12 o'clock all the way through the day. We ate lunch in a break in between tracting, and the next day was the same. We tracted 12 hours again, and we kept on tracting more and more. And about 4 or 5 days into it, I'm like, I've had it. We've had no success. Obviously, you don't know how to be a missionary. And so I told my trainer he was wrong. And he just looked at me, and he's like, we both had the same MTC teacher. He is a good man, and I'm not saying he's not a good man, but in this mission it's different. We know that we don't find people through tracting. Tracting is how we show God that we are willing to do whatever it takes to help his children. And I'm like, but no one's home. We're knocking on doors and no one's even here. And so we finished tracking that day, and we got down to the car, and I still remember it to this day. Our phone also binged because we got in coverage again. And it said 1 missed call and 1 voicemail. And so we click play, and we hear, elders, this is Brother Tufts from Bethel, Vermont. I'm calling to tell you that I have a friend who wants to learn about the gospel. He doesn't know it yet, but he does. He's going to be coming to church on Sunday. And I think that if you do it right, and if you are careful, he'll get baptized. And that was the end of the voicemail. And I'm sitting there, I turned to my companion, he looked at me, he's like, see? Diligence, it pays off. And that guy, Ron, he came to church that Sunday. And we ended up teaching him. And he started investigating the church. And he did end up getting baptized. And he now is preparing to receive his endowment in the Denver Temple soon, because he moved to Colorado. And it's amazing to see that, because on my very first week in the mission, I saw that whereas our efforts may not always produce results, it is our diligence in keeping the commandments that shows God that we are worthy to receive a miracle. And so Ron's one of my favorite investigators ever. I mean, he's just awesome.